Today's video is sponsored by Benetton. Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. As you probably know, summertime has arrived, at the very least over here in the Netherlands. And if you're in the market for some new clothes, I highly recommend you check out Benetton. I've been wearing a lot of their clothes recently. This, for example, is one of their linen shirts, which is perfect for the warmer weather. I'll go ahead and post a link to it down below in the description of this video. Today I figured it would be fun to play some live games of StarCraft 2 that I'm giving commentary to at the exact same time as I'm playing them. Now obviously, StarCraft's a pretty tricky game, especially in the later stages when I can't really autopilot anymore. I think it's going to be quite difficult to keep track of everything that I want to say, but regardless, I'm going to try my very best. So our very first game is going to be a Zerg versus Terran right here on Giganatha LE. In general, actually, I gotta say, I've been playing quite a lot of StarCraft recently. For those of you that have been watching the live stream, you've probably noticed that I've been happily climbing up the NA ladder. So currently on the North American server, which is where I've been playing for some reason this season, I'm sitting right around... I'm bouncing between like rank 130 and 150 or so Grandmaster. If I weren't to play for like a week, I'm pretty sure I'd go down like 50 spots, but... StarCraft really is truly brutal like that. I know a lot of people take extended breaks from time to time, and whenever they come back, it's like riding a bicycle. You remember what to do in most situations, but there's no denying that you do go down pretty quickly, considering everyone else is probably playing right around your MMR a little bit more than you were. Anyways, let us find out exactly what ends up going down here. I'm gonna try and just play a macro game myself. There's, broadly speaking, two builds that I currently like playing in this particular matchup in the early game. The first one is the one that I'm going for right now, which is a more macro-focused one. It's good on the bigger maps. On this map in general, it's relatively easy to establish many bases, so I feel pretty good playing this sort of strategy. The second one is a 5 Roach opener that I like to play, especially on the smaller maps. Quick SCV scout right here for my opponent. Should not be anything too cheesy, although he does decide to plant down a bunker. I'll send one drone down. I don't really want to overcommit here. Okay, there's actually multiple SCVs right now. If that's the case, I'll send a couple more. Pull drones out of gas as well. Okay. So it's actually a full-on cheese. We'll try and surround over here. Got a couple of Zerglings coming as well. Okay. Zerglings are coming up pretty quickly. I don't know exactly how many workers I've lost, but obviously this is a very committed push by him. Okay. Try and pull back the weakened workers a little bit. The drones here are being pretty helpful as well. Gonna start focusing on creep spread primarily, which I think is smart. I think at this point we should be pretty much good to go. This was a very committed push. Triple barracks cheese is not one that you can easily come back from. So I'll pick up whatever I can over here. I still have 17 workers remaining at this point. Try and force the wall off. Sending a couple of links across. There's no gas taken inside of his base, it seems. Okay, I'll send most of my Zerglings towards that shenanigans over here. As it turns out, he's actually going to continue making those Marines. I'm not entirely sure if that's the best play by him, but either way, put the drones back into the gas. We're just harassing it. Oh, okay. It's wide open. If that's the case, I'll just kill as many SCVs here as I can. Not perfect control here by me, but not bad. Oh, I actually accidentally got burrow. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, accidental burrow for the win. I was wondering where my gas had gone. So, there's a couple of different things I can do as a follow-up. I think in general, though, this guy's not done yet pushing, because... Okay. I think he probably would have floated those barracks back home if he was done. Accidental Burrow is working out quite well. Yeah, he's still just making Marines. Okay. So he's just making 1 million Marines here. Link speed is quite a slow upgrade, actually.
Our forces are under attack.
Once link speed finishes, though, especially with the creep spread that I have currently, I think this is going to be pretty easy. It's a couple seconds away right now. I'll try and run a couple of links around. I'm hoping he's going to fight my base. I think he's going to. Yeah. Okay, I've been making non-stop units here for quite some time. He's even going for a factory over here right now. Very interesting. You know what? I think it might be time for us to actually just push in here. Because I don't really want him to finish up the factory. There are some nooks and crannies where he can hide his units quite effectively. But I think I may just have more than enough to kill all of this. There we go. And he decides to leave the game. So, if you go back to the very beginning, initially I just see one of those SCVs building a bunker inside of my natural expansion, right? And at that point, I don't really know exactly what's going on. Every once in a while, right now, this is... it gets, like, basically the higher you climb on the ladder, the less often these kind of builds really happen, where they try and fake a bunker to make you overreact, right? So, say for example, this would have just been a normal opener right here for Terran, and he's just building a bunker over here for some odd reason, and I end up pulling like 10 workers to try and kill it because I'm anticipating this sort of push, but it's not this sort of push that's happening. I'm very far behind, right? Because it's a lot of mining time you lose. I think in general, when it comes to defending this sort of shenanigans, you need to pull quite a lot of workers. This is a build that pops up at the pro level, and it has popped up for a long time. Where basically they just proxy 3 barracks on your side of the map, and then there's rally the units in. You gotta pull drones quite early. I don't really know what the exact amount of workers is that you should pull, but it seems that most of the professional Zerg players chase down the Marines, or just attack the bunker with the drones. So I try and micro back the weakened workers. It's all about buying time, right? Because at this point, I'm getting a lot of Zerglings here. My spawning pool wasn't even done when those units first got into my base. And the drones actually end up dealing quite a lot of damage. I did pull 2 drones out of gas. I think if I leave all of them in gas, I'm probably going to fall behind. My queen here was actually a little bit late. Probably should have started that one up a little bit quicker. And obviously going burrow didn't really... Well, I mean, it kind of worked out for me in this game. But it didn't really serve me as well as Zergling speed would have. I think if I got link speed, it probably would have made both the harassing on the other side of the map a little bit easier, but also, obviously, defending at home, right? So, most of the time, as a follow-up here, what Terran players end up doing is that they lift up these structures and then fly them back home. Since I saw that my opponent was continuously producing here, I mean, I sent a couple of links across, and then he's still pumping out 3 Marines at once. Which, theoretically speaking, I think is pretty bad, because if I just attack move over here with more Zerglings, they're all just going to get picked up as they pop out of the barracks. I am forced to send a bunch of my Zerglings back home. Luckily for me, one of the depots was down, though, with the 4 Zerglings that I did send across. And I see that he ends up going for a couple of additional gases over here. Now, obviously, the transition from here for this Terran player is one of 2 options. Either he's going to build a command center, or he's going to build a factory and then maybe into a starport, right? Upon seeing that he's taking double gas here and not a single gas, it's pretty obvious that he probably wants to continue with the cheese. So I make a couple of drones. I don't know exactly how many I've lost. Yeah, I've lost a couple. I mean, I obviously killed the SCVs that were over here as well. But yeah, I initially make a couple of drones thinking he might very well transition towards a quote-unquote normal mid-game. But in this particular case, yeah, this Terran player just wanted to get more and more aggressive moving forward as well. So I have a little bit of creep spread. I've got link speed coming right now. I see that he's mining gas. I've harassed a couple of workers here. So interestingly enough, even though he's the one cheesing, I'm the one that killed more workers here, which is kind of ironic. I think the only... yeah, this game went pretty well. I think the main thing that could have gone really wrong over here is engaging when his Terran Marines are stuck in this little choke point, for example, right? If all of his Marines would have been in there, and I try and fight it, that would have been a disaster. I actually thought he was going to push onto the creep, so I wanted to engage with the queen and then the spine crawler as well. But yeah, I end up getting into a pretty good spot over here. Link speed is done, and at this point, there's really not that much that he can do. GG. All right, game 2, another Zerg versus Terran, this time around on 2,000 atmospheres. So here I am talking about playing a macro game, and then my previous opponent decided to get a little bit cheesy. I guess that's kind of StarCraft in a nutshell, though. Everything is going well, initially, and then you have to start putting out fires. And whoever is better at that crisis management is usually the one that ends up winning. I'll try and play the same build that I was planning on playing in the previous game. I will scout a little bit more aggressively with the Overlord this time around, though, just to see if there's going to be any barracks on my side of the map. I'm recording this at a bit of a different time than what I normally play. So normally I stream Monday through Saturday, 2 and 8, or between 2 and 8 p.m. my time, so Central European summertime currently. However, you know, I'm playing in the morning currently to record this video, and there's some different opponents playing. One of the nice things about playing around the same time every day is that you can, yeah, get some practice in against the same players over and over and over again. So I kind of understand what their tendencies are. I'm actually going to change the colors here real quick. Alt plus F on the keyboard, by the way, to change your colors. It's quite helpful if you're on a map right now, for example, where everything is kind of blue-ish on the minimap. My opponent was playing blue right there initially, which makes it difficult for me to see what's going on. Okay, I was going to say, where's the SCV going? We're rally drones into the gas geyser. My opponent right here just confirming that it is going to be a hatch first for me, which is a big indication that he's not really planning on cheesing me, which is nice. This OV is going to go across. Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about cheese. So let's see what's going on right there at the front. Most of the time, Terrans will go barracks into command center on the low ground. So I'm expecting to see a command center on the low ground. And then they'll send a Reaper across the map. Turns out if I pull 2 drones out of gas at 60, I can still get link speed done by the time that 4 Hellions come out, but I can grab the 3rd base without any hesitation against the Reaper opener. So there's the Reaper leaving base. I'll actually have a quick peek as well to see if he's going to continuously produce. No, he's going to go straight into a reactor, so no Marine follow-up, meaning that I can leave my Overlord hanging out here. Maybe we can scout what's up. So I've got the 3rd base already coming here. There is a... No, it's a 2nd barracks. Okay. So this is a 2-1-1 opener. Not the best harassment, Lowko. Or not the best defense, rather. Okay. Didn't lose anything, though. This is a double barracks opener. So double barracks openers usually start with a lot of Marines and Stimpak. Most of those attacks hit around the 5-minute mark when Stimpak finishes. There's a couple of variations, but the most common one is a 16 Marine drop. And I like playing against this build quite a lot, because usually I can play very greedy. Because I know there's not going to be any Hellions. I know there's not really going to be that much early game aggression here in general. So that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. Don't really need to spread my Overlords in front of the creep here either, because, well, obviously, my opponent isn't going to send any Hellions across. Well, not likely anyway. I do have to double check here as well, but for now, Queens and Drones is going to be the name of the game. I want to try and maximize the amount of workers that I create here. And I want to spread the creep as far as I can before I start making army. Okay, we're rally to the 3rd base now that the natural is fully saturated. Put the drones back into the gas over there. Yeah, there's a lot of Marines. Okay. So usually if you start producing about 30 Zerglings, right around 4 minutes and 30 seconds, you're going to be fine against this sort of push. So I am droning extremely greedily. I'm going to go double upgrades here as well. I'll make 1 round of Zerglings right now because I feel very greedy. I do want to patrol back and forth over here so I can see any potential medevacs leaving the main base of the Terran player. Because he's probably going to load the Marines into a medevac. Okay, and now I'm starting to make some units. Spreading the creep. I have 45 workers. I think the greediest you can probably play is like 50. But I don't really feel like dying to something stupid this early in the morning.
We require more Vespine.
Okay. We're going... Well, you should hit right about right now. Okay, there he is. Okay, I was going to say. We're going... Queens in the main base. Zerglings as well. I'll try and target fire down the Medivacs here with the Queens. And then we're droning again. Alright. Very clean defense. So from here I can do whatever I like for a little bit. I'll go 4th base. And 5th base probably around the same time. I do want to have some scouts around the map as well, to see if he's going to go for another expansion of his own. Okay. Extra gases. We'll go lair. So double upgrades is also pretty greedy. So this is a greedy game. Double gases here before... Or sorry, double upgrades here before anything else is also a bit greedy. But I think it's a good build against this, because he's not going to really go for that much more. And against that initial marine push, you don't really need too much. Okay, so there's the 3rd command center. That started on location? Okay, I'm just gonna send a lot of units that way. Okay. There's another medevac full of units, but that's not gonna happen, buddy. Oh, there's even a little nuke over here, too. Alright. So this is... my highest ranked account right now is, like I said... pretty decently high up on the NA ladder. This particular game I'm playing on the EU server, which I think is right around 5k MMR currently. Ooh, did I not make a bailing nest? Okay, that's actually a big mistake. Making no bailing nest at this point is bad. Should have had that at this point. I'm already at 80 workers. Yeah, that's the only way in which I can lose the game. I thought I started one up, but I'm gonna blame talking and playing at the same time for that. So bailing speed is going to be super late. Now my creep spread's looking quite nice. But I'm not going to have any banelings here. Okay. He's moving out right now. I'll try and fight this off creep. Just because I don't have any banelings. I think that probably is not a bad idea, but... Okay, we'll saturate the expansion up there instead. Okay. This is a bit of a desperation push though from him, so I'm giving up the base. I don't think it's a big deal. I've got a lot of queens here that I'll be using as well. I will try and buy some time. I'll go check again on his side of the map as well to make sure that he doesn't have a hidden base somewhere on his side. I think he does. Yeah, so imagine if I would have had bailing speed done at this point, it would have been pretty self-explanatory. Okay, go, go, go. For some reason I messed up that situation over there too. Accidentally misclicking the mineral lines. Okay, we'll go into Hydras right now. And we'll go into a high ferry soon too. Well, honestly, at this point, I'm playing full 4-base saturation. He's on 2. So honestly, like, in these kind of scenarios, my best bet is probably just waiting until he mines out. Like, strategically speaking, I think that's the superior play. Because when you think about it, like, what's he gonna do, right? Like, there's not really... Either he's gonna go for a desperation push, or he's gonna go for an all-out, you know, expend attempt. And I think in both scenarios, it's better for me to wait than headbutt with his siege tanks. Okay. Trying to defend whatever's going on here. Very good. Yeah, and I'll just max out. Can Hydra's reach that? Nope, I didn't get the ranged upgrade on that yet. We'll check around the map just to make sure that there's no hidden bases, but I don't think there are. Nah. Okay, well now he's going for what seems to be a push. He's even sending all of his units back home. I'll morph in new banelings. I think it's time to bring it home. Always a good idea when you're about to use banelings to make new ones. He's gonna try and probably morph a planetary fortress over there. Roll, roll, roll the Banes gently down their base. GG is cold. Nice. So, this Overlord Scout over here was big. Most of the time what Terran players do is they will go for a Reaper and then into a Marine. And the Marine is meant to, obviously, well, stop any kind of Zerglings that will maybe come across the map. Right? If you lose the SCV that's building the command center, that can be a disaster. So making one Marine after the Reaper is usually clever. But also, you can prevent this Overlord from getting free scouts in, right? So I see right here it's the second barracks. I see the timing right here on the factory as well. So in my mind, this is already going to be a 16 Marine drop. Now, if we fast forward real quick to like the 5-minute mark, because there's no Hellions, I don't really need to worry about anything else, right? I can just drone as much as I like. I start making units right around this right around this time. And already at this point, I'm 15 workers ahead, right? Then we go to the push. He gets across the map, loses a medevac. And this is where I get like another 2 minutes or so of playtime, right? This is where I can do, once again, whatever I like. If we look at this objectively right now, I'm at 45 workers, but I can make a lot of drones. I've got double upgrades coming, or at the very least I should. I've got good creep spread. I've got 3 bases done. He's on 2 bases. I'm personally not a big fan. Well, I'm a big fan of Terran players playing this build against me, but I'm personally not a big fan of the 2-1-1 opener. There's a couple of varieties where you can go for like a Hellbat push as well. And the way that I'm countering this is without like a Roach Warren or without a Baneling Nest, and that one can be a bit tricky to deal with. So I know a lot of players, especially in Korea, at least I've seen this a couple of times, where they go for 1 Evo Chamber and a Baneling Nest rather than double Evo Chamber, just because those variations that can come up every once in a while can be annoying to deal with. But personally, I haven't really played against a build like that, so I'm just going to go with the old school approach of going double Evo against this. And it's been working out quite well, right? So my biggest mistake in this particular game by far was forgetting the Baneling Nest. So you're supposed to go lair, and then so the gas spending in this particular case is link speed first, obviously, right? And then double upgrades. Then when you start the lair, as soon as you can after that, a Baneling Nest as well. And that way you can ensure starting up the Baneling speed upgrade as the lair finishes. So I'm supposed to start up the Baneling speed right now as the lair finishes, and instead I realize right now, oh wait a second, I didn't start up the Baneling Nest, which is pretty bad. So that does mean I'm, yeah, not in the most comfortable position. I think if I would have started up the Baneling Nest right away, I would have been able to hold this push without losing the expansion. Then again, I know at this point that there's still no third command center for him. So, I mean, I'm playing 5 bases. I really do not need to worry about that. As a matter of fact, I could give up 2 expansions and still be okay. I'd rather not, though, but losing 1, totally fine. So this is probably the diciest moment in this game, at least for me, because that Baneling speed was not started at the appropriate time. But I'm gonna write that up to me talking and playing at the same time, okay? I think that's probably a reason. Yeah, I also did not start up my +2/+2 upgrades here in sync. But all things considered, I think waiting over here was the smart move at this point. I mean, he is making a desperation move, trying to go for the 3rd base, and there's just simply not enough for him to hold on. GG. Okay, one more? One more. This time around, we're going up against a random player. Now, playing against random players as Zerg is not the biggest of deals because you can just play, you know, hedge gas pool relatively safely. However, one thing I've noticed over the years when it comes to random players is that since they're practicing 9 matchups, right, rather than 3, if you play a single race, you only play 3, Usually they play very cheesy. Usually they have one go-to cheese that they play in those specific builds. Or, sorry, in those specific matchups. And while that can work out quite well, I do think I'm actually going to go for a drone scout. Because I don't really know exactly what I'm going up against, and I'd rather figure it out early. Yeah, if you play, for example, Protoss, right, and you're going up against a random opponent, it's actually quite tricky. Because Protoss, their very first structures have to be placed down in very specific ways in order to make sure that you don't lose. And if you're walling off as if it's a, I don't know, a Protoss versus Terran, right, and you put your structures over there, and then all of a sudden it's a Protoss versus Zerg and your ramp is wide open, it's a bit of a disaster. Okay, so once again, we have a Terran player. 3 in a row. This time around, I guess we'll do a little bit of harassment over here. Normally, Zergs don't do drone scouts, but... Second barracks again? It's a very quick second barracks, by the way. Because of that, I will actually pull drones into the gas guys rather than rally them in that way. Overlord, I'm actually gonna send you over there. Because they'll probably lift... Oh, no. 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 Overlord, I think they're gonna lift up to, like, kill you if I put you on that little pillar, so... So I pulled the drones into the gas just to try and get a little bit of a quicker link speed. Okay, that one will be cancelled. Oh, wow. Wow, what? Alright. I do want to pay attention right now to the minimap to see if there's going to be Reapers going by. Yep. There are. Very good. Link speed here first. I'll put an Overlord by this pillar too. I only saw 2 barracks. But I'll go 8 Zerglings for now. I think that's fair. Okay. Okay, good. I'll fly in the Overlord a little bit further. Since there's no Marines, I think it's safe to do so. This seems to be like an aggressive play, but without really that many... Like, normally you proxy the units, right? Like, that's the weird part here. Normally you proxy the units, and in this case he didn't. I'll actually just make drones. I think I'm good. I didn't make an Overlord. Didn't I? Ooh, I thought I did anyway. Okay, so it's a factory right now as a follow-up. He is going for what seems to be a Marine transition, and there is an expo. Okay. So we'll try and play normal from here. Looks like my opponent is sending the Reapers over in that direction, so don't really want to delay myself anymore. Okay, I don't think this expo is actually going to work. So instead, we'll expo over there. Okay, so this opener was actually more successful than I thought it should... Oh, well, this helps. I think it shouldn't have been this successful, but... Don't know why it was idling in the speed-up circles. That makes very little sense. We'll take it, though. Okay, just a bunker over there. So we'll have to try and play this out right now as if it's a normal game. The problem is, right now, all the timings are off, right? So, he'll probably go for something similar as we did last game, but now that he opened up like this, I don't know exactly at what moment I should start making units, and when I am safe to drone. I think for now, though, droning is going to be the name of the game. We'll go double upgrades as well. Actually, no, we don't need that yet. Double upgrades. And now this time around, I'm gonna go lair into Baling Nest. I know. Game changer. Okay.
So, we require more minerals.
Trying to get the creep out as far as I can.
So, more overlord.
He's likely gonna push the third base. Oh, there they go. For some reason, completely unscouted, but... Okay, this is sloppy by me. Yeah, very sloppy. I mean, I'll clean this up eventually, and I think I should still come out of this ahead. But obviously, that should have looked a little bit better. I should have actually seen those medevacs moving out, and then I could have been waiting for them in the main base, and that's an absolute game changer. Then I would have like had the queens on the perimeter, and no damage would really be done. This is the first time though that he sees I've got another base. Lair's done. Baneling speeds come in. It's very similar situations though in this game compared to the previous ones. I'm once again going into the mid game with an advantage, which is really nice. It's the way I prefer playing. This time around I'll go ultras, okay? I think that's a good idea. So we're double expanding after 3 base saturation. And after I have a little bit of time. I'll make a couple of safety banes. Okay. I'll probably end up cancelling the 4th. Because he's gonna probably run me around like a fool. But I still have the secondary 4th, right? So it's not really a 4th and a 5th. It's more like 2 4th bases. I know that sounds a little funky, but... Oh, there's Widow Mines in there.
We require more mineral metamorph. A creep tumor is under attack. Is under attack.
Okay. I need to get... Baling speed. Or sorry, Overlord speed.
Depleted.
We're getting a hive. I would also like to get Burrow, actually.
We require
Ooh. That's quite bad. He tried to outsmart me there. He's like, chase him down, quick! Love it.
a creep tumor is under attack. We require our forces are under attack. Metamorphosis complete. Our forces are under attack.
Okay, I don't know if there's any Widow Mines in there. There probably are. Oh, no. Hive. Oh, nice. Good job, Brenda. Okay. Macro-wise, this is definitely not the cleanest. But, I think it'll do. Ooh, nicely done there by him. I did not see those. Ooh, that's actually a lot more Marines than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, we need Banelings here. Ooh, okay, this is going way better than it should. Okay, so that was actually some nice moves right here by him. I need to try and make sure that I don't fall too far behind right now.
Our drones are under attack. A creep tumor is under attack. Our forces are
Very nice harassment here by him. We're going Ultra Cavern. +3. Okay. I'm replacing the workers that I'm losing. I'll go Spire right now as well. This is the downside of when you don't go Hive. Or sorry, don't go Hydras or anything along those lines, right? You can easily fall behind against this sort of shenanigans. Right now, obviously, my creep spread also has not been phenomenal. Because I'm so busy putting out fires. And here's that main army coming. Okay. Gotta be careful with the mines. Okay, I think we're okay. Whew. I did start up all my late game upgrades. Ultras are coming up right now, which are gonna make this shenanigans, this marine-based army, quite a bit easier to deal with. I never did get Burrow. Okay. I lost a lot of queens during all of that creep cleaning, though. Okay. And he did secure a 4th base just now, too. Okay. Alright. So we actually have a proper macro game. I wish my creep spread was a little bit further out than it is. I'm gonna start spreading units around my base. Should have done that by default, but I'm gonna start spreading them around a little bit more. Just so hopefully I won't get caught off guard against drops again like that. Oh. Without chitinous plating, Ultras aren't that good. That's the upgrade. That gives them additional armor. Okay. Adding on Corruptors right now, too. Marines are not very good against this type of army. Man, this guy actually has some killer target firing. Very nicely done by him. Okay, now it's done. Okay, so I want to keep track of future expos from him. Okay. +3 is done. That should make life a lot easier. Alright, so my current strategy is to try and bleed them out on 4 bases. I've got more than 4 bases. As a matter of fact, I think I can double expo. So he doesn't really have a counter right now to Ultras, other than just, you know, Marines and Marauders. He needs to get, like, either Ghosts or, I don't know, Liberators or something along those lines. He basically tried to go for an all-out assault in the mid-game. And it almost ended up working, actually. I almost got overwhelmed there, but no, I don't think I need to push. If I can prevent him from getting a 5th, he will slowly bleed out over the course of the next couple of minutes. Just that I don't really have much of a bank here either, right? Okay. It's a very expensive set of units to just give away, by the way. Is he gonna try and push this? Guess he is. Okay. Found a couple of Widow Mines. Yeah, this guy's playing very tempo focused. Oh, there's even a bay or a planetary over here though. Okay, lose a base over there, but it's fine. Ultra Cavern might end up going down, but that's okay. I did lose a lot of workers during all of this. I've actually lost a ton of drones here in general. I actually didn't think he was going to continue pushing in that direction. Ooh, he even kills the hatch. Still don't know if this is a great situation for him, though. Because these are not finisher moves, right? Like, these are good tempo plays. But if I can prevent... Okay, that's the old main base, so he's 4 CC. If I can prevent this from being properly acquired, I think I should be okay. I do not want to give this guy a 5th base. That's the main thing we want to do. Or we don't want to do, I guess. Okay, I'm going to try and engage on that expansion. Because I know his army is currently on the other end. Whoa. Okay. Dealing a lot of damage over here. Don't think I should bother with that base. The planetary, that is. Okay, we kill an expansion here. Very good. These ultras are getting some work done. We'll chase those down a little bit further. Very scrappy game, but I think we're winning. Woo! Alright. So I'm definitely all-army hotkeying too much, by the way. I think all-army hotkey is one of those traps you can fall into. And there's no denying that I am doing so in this particular game. Because I am being run around like a fool half the time. Which is not smart. Okay, so that's the old main base, I think, now floating all the way over here. He's not happy about this whole situation. He is gonna be very broke over the course of the next few minutes. Like, he needs another base really badly. I'll set up a run-by squad over there. Okay. Let's go. Ultras run underneath the Liberators. This base is still not landed. He's target firing down Overseers. I think that was the final push. Whew. Alright. Intense game. Not clean. But, intense. I know he doesn't have another base anywhere. So he must be, you know, running very low. Okay, this time around, since he's once again acquiring that expansion, I'm gonna go for the base right here on the left. This is a planetary fortress. I'll send a couple of Zerglings in that direction too. Here we go. And he does not GG, but he does leave the game. Alright, so pretty smooth games today, all things considered. I mean, that last one wasn't as clean, primarily because of the fact that the early game was a little bit wild, right? My opponent opening up with multiple barracks inside of his main base. It kind of threw off all of the timings. I generally speaking play very timing oriented, meaning that I look either at the supply count or, for example, at my worker count or the clock in game. And when your opponent goes from like a strange opener into like a standard mid game, all of those timings are kind of out of whack. So I ended up winning that game, but it was not nearly as clean as the ones before that. Either way, I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Once again, thank you very much to Benetton for sponsoring this video. If you're in the market for some new clothes, check them out. Links down below in the description. But for now, thank you for watching. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again tomorrow for another one.